Welcome to Her Story Podcast, a space created for real stories, real healing, and real strength. I am your host, Katrina Harbin, and I am joined with my co host, Tanya Harris. So, on today's episode, it's especially meaningful. We are honored to have our special guest here, Miss Jennifer Reeves. She is one of our first guests here on the podcast, so we're excited to have her, and we are so thankful for you, Jennifer, for trusting us in this space to be willing to share your story with others. Now, to everyone else who's watching and listening, this is a safe space. Some conversations may be personal, some may get emotional, but all of them are rooted in truth, growth, and healing. So, wherever you are in your journey, whether you're overcoming, whether you're healing, or whether you're still trying to find your way, we are glad that you are here. So let's get started. That being said, again, thank you both for joining me today, co host Tanya and our special guest, Miss Jennifer Reeves. Thank you. We appreciate the opportunity to sit with you today. It's very exciting to meet you.
Good
Uh,
morning. Good morning.
Good morning, and I'm glad to be here.
It's exciting because I've never met Jennifer personally, which is the whole point. The whole goal is to meet all of these beautiful, spirited people who have been through some things and who have endured. And hopefully, we can meet more people and build relationships. So, Jennifer, can you share with us and share with everyone who's watching a little bit about you and what life looked like before you began to experience different traumas or hardships in your life?
All right. Good morning. My name is Jennifer Reeves, and I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina. I attended area college here. Got hired by the same school that I graduated from, and then I started to work for the college and worked there for 18 years. Went to two other institutions and worked there. So 23 years in higher education, as far as records and registration and business and finance. And so I made sure that students were clear to be at the universities and they could afford to be there. So financial clearance. And so that was my life for 23 years. And so I worked, had a sick parent. My mom went to nursing facility for 22 years. And so basically worked, took care of her, my son. So that was my life for life in doing all of those things in church and just because but my goal was I really wanted to be a flight attendant and my mom said no. And so so my life looks totally different than what I envisioned it to be, but God has some other plan for
Mhm.
me. So if I was traveling and being out of the country, I wouldn't have been able to assist her as much as I have or had. She passed away in September. So, but that was my life. Work, did everything that I, should do, could do to be there for my family. And in 2019, I it was like August, and I was sitting in my car at lunchtime, but it's August and I can have the heat on. And so I'm like, okay, something's not right. And so I would fall asleep like at a drop of a hair. And so it's like something's not right. And then I had an ulcer on my foot. And so on my big toe. And it was just awful looking. Plus, everything is coming out, but I'm still trying to work, trying to make it through the end of the week. I was a contractor at the time, and so, if you don't work, you don't get the pay. But I ended up that Friday evening going to the hospital, So I went home, got dinner for my son, took that. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be back. I'm going to the Briar Creek ER because they don't have beds, and I felt like I was coming back home. And I got in, but I didn't get out.
Oh,
Wow.
And
wow.
so I was diagnosed with a rare bone infection called osteomyelitis. And so never had it, never known anybody to have it. And so what happens is it basically kills the bones. So, it would look mushy. MRI showed it. It was a black doctor in the ER that night, and she was like, "I can't let you leave. You gotta be admitted to big weight med." And
Oh,
so,
wow.
Wow.
my blood sugar was like 436. Um, so just all the symptoms of an infection. So I get transferred to Wake Med, Newbern Avenue, and we, they just keep me in there. They just looking at my stuff and they not really touching it. It's the weekend. So I'd already had a foot specialist that I go to with Wake Med, but at the same time, he's gone for the weekend. And so you gotta wait. And so I had so much swelling that they started to tilt the bed backwards. So I would not continue to swell in my leg and my foot.
Right.
And so days went on. I watched G7, where all of the men come from the different countries and all kinds of stuff. So I'm like, okay, by that Sunday, I'm like, okay, I still don't have an answer. So infectious disease comes in. Mind you, I'm diabetic. Been in diabetic since I was 23 years old. But you know, as we Black folks, um, sometimes we feel like God gonna take it all,
Yeah.
and we
Amen. Yep.
ignore it. We
Yep.
in denial, and
We do.
and so I just kind of ignored it. And so I'm like, I'm living my life and I'm just not going to accept this right now. But so years and years passed and I went without really doing what I was supposed to do, um, taking care of my body. And so, needless to say, it kind of creeped up on me. And so infectious disease came in and says, "Oh, we're going to amputate your toe." The wound doctor and my orthopedic doctor says, "No, we don't have to do that. We between another infect." So I said, "I need another infectious disease person. Don't send that same doctor in here to see me." And so they gave me a lady, and we come up with a plan. Okay, we can put you on these antibiotics, but you're going to have a PIC line. And so I had a PIC line for several weeks.
Mhm.
They have to get you prepared for that, but the PIC line is like right underneath your heart. And so got that done. I left. Um, Needless to say, I didn't have an amputation.
That's good.
And
Praise God for
so,
that.
yes, I
Yes.
didn't have an amputation. And so, but I couldn't work because you can't have a pick line and go into, you know, settings such as schools and things like that. You
Right.
have to, you just got to be kind of self-contained for a little bit. And so, um, I had trouble with the antibiotic. And so I was like, okay, so different antibiotic process lasted a little bit longer, but I survived it.
Yeah.
And when you go from being told that you're going to get something cut off of your body,
Mm-hmm.
is something different. You feel like a death, no matter what part of the body it is, it's a death. And so walked in a boot, all those kind of things, but still stem from having diabetes
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't pay attention to. 2023, I had the flesh-eating bacteria,
Oh no.
and
Wow.
in my growing, and we had just had. I had planned a cookout in for the people in Bear Creek, which is my hometown. And so we went through the whole thing. We had a good time, but I was sick as a dog afterwards. And I'm like, okay. So after having the first rough time with the infection, I picked up on it. I was like, I'm tired, I'm sleepy, I'm falling, asleep at a drop of a hair. Get there, I can't. I had like a started like a pimple, and so it just exploded. So I put a heating pad on it. It just got bigger and bigger and bigger. So probably that was Saturday. So by Tuesday, I couldn't really walk. It was just so painful, and so went to the ER again, and they says, and I sat there. They made me sit there like when nothing was wrong with me, and come to find out, I had the flesh eating bacteria. Um, but then you still try to tie it into diabetes. And
Mm-hmm.
so,
Right.
diabetes is the seventh leading cause of death in the United States. And so, I had to come up with a real plan of how to try to overcome this. I'm still diabetic, but my numbers have gone from A1C of 14 to now 6.1.
Oh
So
Wow.
wow. Wow, that's a blessing.
That's awesome.
So
That
I
is a
had to go to
blessing.
rehab. I could not walk. I left my car in the ER, and I had two surgeries. I was technically in critical care and didn't realize it until I started reading my medical notes.
Wow.
You have the my chart.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking on my chart and I said, I'm in critical care.
Wow.
I'm texting my family, and I'm like, okay, y'all, I'm in the hospital, and I'll go to the hospital because I don't want any to bother anybody. So everybody's
Mm-hmm.
in different places and different parts of the area in North Carolina. And so I was like, y'all, I'm at the hospital, but this is what's going on. And then nobody's told me that I'm in critical care. I'm sepsis.
Wow.
Um, nothing, my organs did not fail at all. I think my heart rate may have been a little bit elevated, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm texting everybody like I'm okay. Um, so when you start to read that, and like two surgeries, when you have flesh-eating bacteria, and it's a more formal name. Saturday I had a surgery, and then again on the Monday. And so then the next part was just to start to get me to go to rehab because I couldn't walk. And so my right leg and growing was huge and purple. Um, if you know anything about healthcare, you know how um, a bullier could be or a big bull. So
Mm-hmm.
it had gotten probably that big, and it looks like it was
Wow.
in my thigh. And
Wow.
so, just I'm like, okay,
That's
this
amazing.
is not
Amazing.
right. This continues to happen to me, and most of the stuff is like kind of rare, but at the same time, we started therapy. So I'm in Wake Med. I've driven myself to the ER. My car is parked in the in the ER still, right? So I go through the therapy process, and first I get rolled in with the wheelchair and all that kind of stuff day by day, and then so I go in August 9th. I'm probably discharged sometime September, end of September. And so I do all my therapy every day, extra time if I needed to, so I could get out of there. And um, I would have a friend that called me and just encourage me every day.
That actually ties to a question I was going to ask you. because
Okay.
that's a lot to go through. And I know, that we are women of faith on here. So, and we know that God is a keeper.
Amen.
It's amazing how he keeps us, even when we
Yeah.
don't even think about the danger that we're in. God
Right.
keeps us, and he even keeps our minds so that we won't, go crazy in
Yeah.
what we're going through. And that's what I was going to ask you. Where did that put you mentally and emotionally? Because it had to be traumatic, just to kind of all of a sudden, I'm going to the doctor because I just need them to look at this and see what's going on. And then now they're telling you, yeah, we're going to keep you. We're going to have surgeries on you. You're going to be here. We need you to have therapy. All of this stuff just by saying, I just need them to look at this.
That was the
It.
same question I was getting ready to ask.
I'm a type of person like this. I never question God
Mm-hmm.
about what He does.
Mm-hmm.
I take it and I endure it. But I always also have people that support me, whether they're preachers or whomever. I have preachers in my family, and I can go to them and or call them. My current pastor at that time was wonderful. Um, so people are praying in the
Mm-hmm.
midst of all of these things that are going on. I'm praying, but sometimes you're so sick that you can't pray.
Right.
And so you got to have some people on your team. A lot of times we are people that think that we're not supposed to go through anything. But biblically, there's people who had issues for 30 some years, 12 years,
Yeah.
and they endured. So I don't question that part of it.
Right.
Um and I not always have to say you're spiritual because there's some people that um God knows where I am in my faith. He knows who I am. He knows my name. But there are some people that is not as spiritual as you are, and I never
Mm-hmm.
want to offend them. I know who He is with me. I just have to shine my light towards them to try to help them.
So, Jennifer,
So,
I got a question for you. Sorry to
mhm.
interrupt. So, mentally, when you were going through all of this, how did you keep it together? Like, I know that we pray, but the flesh is weak as well. So, how mentally, how did you keep the thoughts from entering your mind, like, or when it did, like, why God? Or I know you said you don't question God, and that's something that I do. I do question him quite a bit. I look at it as him being my father. If I can't ask my father nothing, who can I ask? But that's just me. But when you were sitting there enduring all of this, mentally, how did you keep it together besides praying?
I have to cry. Nobody might not see my face
Correct.
Mm. Yeah.
outside of my house, even
Right.
today.
Yeah.
But at the same time, my face is my face
Mm.
Hmm.
because I have to try to keep it together. But I could come in here and fall apart.
Gotcha.
But I don't ever try to look like what I've been through or what I'm going through.
Right.
Mm.
And
That's good.
so, yeah, I have people, I have time to pray. I might just have a breakdown in here and nobody knows it.
Right.
But at the same time, or wherever I am, um, I still try to keep my mind because if He gets your mind,
Oh,
Right.
yes.
He got you.
Oh,
He
Yep.
got
yes.
you.
And that's that's
Um,
that's that was my main question, because all the devil has is the thought that he puts in your
right.
mind.
Yeah.
So
And I got mustard seed faith that
Yes.
whatever I'm going through and what I'm gonna do, and you can't put me in a box that I won't come out.
mhm.
Yes. Yes.
And I
Amen.
believe that He will. As long as I believe it, then I know that He will. You have to have faith to believe. When I told them I was not gonna leave Wake Med in a wheelchair,
Mhm.
walker, or cane, I said, I'm going to do you a favor so that you will let me leave. I will have my friend to bring me a cane. We walked down to the ER parking lot to make sure my car was still there. Walk downstairs, walk back upstairs. Therapist said, okay, she can leave. Y'all, I drove. I left the place driving my car. I'm technically disabled because of the amputations. I have had some. Um, but they call them floppy toes. So there's no long bones. The toes are still there. I have a very good surgeon. Um, but there's nothing inside.
Mm-hmm.
So on almost three of my toes is like that. And then I have a partial big toe amputation. So I can't let you mess with my mind. Because if you
Mhm.
mess with my mind, I may not ever walk.
Right.
You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
You're
So
absolutely
that's
right.
the kind of stuff that I'm living on. Like, yeah. But every day is not the same. Every day is not the same with everybody. You gonna have things come at you, but you
Mhm.
gotta be able to take it and ride with it. Now, would I say that years ago? No, because I would be one that's angry and mad.
Yes.
I was
What
angry and mad.
was this at God or was this just at life itself?
Life itself. Never gonna be mad at God. Cause he gonna do what he gonna do.
Right.
That's right.
He gonna do what he gonna do. So I'm never mad with him. But you know
Mm-hmm.
how people or whatever, it's just you mad with somebody or mad at your situation.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing was to overcome. I would have people that would work with me, but like, are you all right? Mad, angry, frustrated. And I say that because I was raising a kid with mental health issues. And
Mm-hmm.
so, at this child is 2 years old, and this child is, I could tell he was different. I'm a mama. So I could already tell that,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you something's wrong with this kid. And so child's probably 6, 7 years old. This child told me he hated me every single day.
Wow.
Wow.
So I had to become immune to the language. And so probably 8 or 9 years old, I had to start going to the psychiatrist, taking them to psychiatrist therapy, all that kind of stuff. So, we praying every morning, we praying just to have a good day
Mm-hmm.
from school. And
Mhm.
so, my prayer life has always been good. You don't pray just because, things are going on, but that's just your time to say thank you. But even in that, um, mental illness is real. You go from treating somebody um, medically to them becoming where drugs is a part of their life.
And you saying some of these things because I'll say, I was cleaning this morning. On Saturdays when I do my deep cleaning.
Hmm.
And I try to do it every other Saturday so I won't wear myself out. But I was cleaning this morning and I was sweeping the kitchen floor. And I
Okay.
said, Lord, it's only me and my husband here. Why is it always trash on this floor? Why is it always something to be swept on this floor? He don't come in the kitchen. I'm in there, but I'm very careful because I try to stay tidy. Why is it always something that I find that I need to sweep and sweep up on this dustpan to put in the trash can? And he began to minister to me because that's what he does. It's the simple things is where he gives me the messages that I need, not only for myself, but also to pour out to other people.
Yes.
And it's simply that no matter how well we try to keep our lives and how well we try to be and how in order we try to keep things. There will be trash that somehow gets infiltrated in the mix. Trash will show up. There will
all the
always
time.
be dust. There will always, no matter how clean your house is, there will always be dust that settles on the surface. And you're always going to have to take your towel and you're going to have to wipe it up.
That's right.
And you were built, you know how, you have everything you need to wipe down that dust. In other words, you're built. I created you and built you in such a way that you can clean it up.
Mm,
I built you in a way for you to understand that this is going to happen and that just because it happened, it doesn't mean that this is the end of you. But I've equipped you with everything you need in order to move forward. And then listening to your story, that's exactly what it sounds like. It sounds like that God built you so perfectly for everything
mm,
that you have to endure. He built you to sustain it when others probably would have died in it because, like you said, their mental would have gotten the best of them. But He
mm,
built you specifically to take care of a child with mental challenges. He built you to take care of a body whose health fails from time to time. He's built you to not, and then on top of that, in talking to you, it's understandable that even in going through all of this, you still have the strength to pour into other people.
Mm. Yes.
You still, your water, your cup still overflows to the point where you can encourage somebody and make them smile and make their day great, even if you have to go home and fall to your knees about
mm.
what you're going through.
That's
And that
right.
is amazing to me. And that is very, very powerful. So I definitely um, praise God for the power that is in you to keep going and to trust Him the way that you do. Because, like you said, if your mental would have gotten the best of you, you would have stopped a long time ago. You would have gave up on yourself, on your child
Mm,
a long time ago. But He built you so that you could sustain. And that is very, very beautiful. And that's a great story to share.
mm.
Um, I'm just in awe and I love to hear it. I just had to point that out. I'm like, that is
Oh,
so amazing.
I don't know about the equip. I mean, that's a good point from you, but
He
honey,
is he is equipped to you got it. You're already doing it.
It
it
doesn't feel like
won't
it
put
when
no
you're in the
more.
meantime, though, that you're
Yeah.
equipped. I mean, I think that's the hardest part of any traumatic event that you go to is in the meantime. It's that waiting period. It's that God,
Hmm.
I know you testing, my faith is being tested,
Mhm,
but I need some strength to hold on because I know what your word says. I know what I have in my heart, but sometimes the flesh
Hmm.
wants to
mhm,
override what you already know, and that's
mhm,
that's a battle within itself. But I wanted to quickly ask Jennifer, when your son was telling you this every morning, like how did that impact you?
I would have to read a lot because when you don't know about something, you have to read about it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And there's nobody that I know that's going through this. So, at that time. And so I'm trying to keep my business in my house.
Right,
Hmm.
right.
And, whatever your kids do at school, they know,
Mhm.
but not necessarily your family. And
Uh-huh.
so I'm just trying to, but that's being, sometimes the defiance.
Right.
That's the manipulation sometimes of what they want you to do. And so
Yeah.
sometimes you just got to recognize. And so, and I will say this, mental health does not start when people get 50 years old. It
Say it
starts
again.
it does not start when they get 50.
That's
It
Hmm.
right.
starts when they're little. And
Exactly.
Hmm.
so I had to have a family to encourage me. It was one of my son's classmates,
Hmm.
mom. She was like, "You got to get him some help."
Hmm.
And so, okay, we got insurance. Let's go in. So the amount of time that I spent away from work, the amount of
Right.
time I spent um, buying furniture, um, replacing holes, because this was an angry person.
Mm-hmm.
And so um, having to think ahead was a big issue too, because when you kids become teenagers, then they knowing stuff like vapes and stuff were in my house, and I didn't even know what they were.
Wow.
So you got to be ahead of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I always had to think ahead. My car was like, people call this secret closet. My car was my secret closet
Uh-huh.
because that was a time. That's a place I prayed. There's a place I could watch everything. We lived in a townhouse, so I could watch things in the neighborhood. I could watch him. Um, so it was just like, and my stress level, was really high. So during that time, that was my opportunity. I was eating
Mm-hmm.
a whole lot. And so food was my comfort.
Ooh,
Um,
honey. It's been mine for 56 years. I understand.
food was my comfort because I'm going through
Mm-hmm.
so much stress. And, you have spouses or you have fathers, but they do not comply like mamas. And so even being involved or not being involved, when it's time to go to the doctor, who takes the kid to the doctor? The mama,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
most of the time. And so I endured all that stuff by myself. Basically, I would tell them, I would share it, um, because even with school, um, you have to kind of comply. My son was thrown out of a school before,
Wow.
um, maybe third grade, third, fourth grade. And so
Wow.
new principal, she's small. My son was a big boy. And so I think she was scared of him.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And so I just had hip surgery, and they come to my house. It's like, we've got him signed up to go to another school. It's like, huh?
My
So,
Wow.
goodness.
and I'm like, students that have individual education plans, they call them IEPs, parents, we need to read that booklet. Because if I would have read the booklet totally, I would have known that I've had due process, which means they couldn't have put them out so quickly. And so,
Mm-hmm.
but it ended up working. And different school, different type of people, more caring, loving. And, I'm proud to say he is a high school graduate.
Yay.
In the process of like,
Yes.
all of that.
Yeah.
But, but life is life, and you got to deal with it however it comes to you. I
You
mean,
do.
you have to, and
You
find
do.
support groups um, that will support you, or people that will support you. Support groups are great because they mostly know it's more professional, um, and can give you the ins and outs. And there's still some things that I don't know. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but that child is not healed. That child is still dealing. And so we still deal with it. He's 23 years old, but it's still something I have to deal with as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's my story.
So when you said you had a friend, your child when he was in school, and the parent came to you and said, "Hey, you really need to take action now. Get the support you need." Was that the turning point right there when you knew, okay, I may have recognized some stuff happening before, but with somebody else now coming and present this to you, was that the turning point where you said, okay, this is real? I got to do
Yes.
something now before it becomes,
Yes,
yeah.
before it becomes worse. And
Hmm.
um, yeah, that was a turning point. Um, children still have to take the medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So we endured that part of, okay, there's pills around my house that you're not taking. Um, but for a while, it worked. But that's a pain that, because basically your child you're helpless.
Pretty
Mm-hmm.
much.
And they are, that's a place that no parent wants to be. But yes, it was a turning point, and so I tried to get him as much as help as I could. And so, then, things start to change. Um,
Was there a point where you felt like helpless or that you were being defeated by this? And I know, we, like you said, you trust God, and we do. But then there are those moments when we're like, Lord, if you don't give me the strength right now,
Right.
like,
That part.
did you ever hit that wall or hit that point where it's like, if you don't give me the strength right now to do this, it's not going to be done. Because if it's left up to me, it's it's not going to be done. I need you to step in and take control, like right now. 911. Was it
Not at
ever?
that time because I felt like that was my responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
But when you turn 18 and 19 years old, then I've given you the most of the tools,
Mm-hmm.
and you've had support, um, whether it be from the boys club or from other programs. So then I feel now it's a choice, because when you can go in therapy sessions and you don't talk, they're not gonna they're not gonna help you.
Right. Right.
At
Or
what
you don't
point?
talk to the psychiatrist. So to have a real um, diagnosis besides ADHD, he doesn't have it.
At what point, as a mom, did you feel like you had to take your hands off of it and completely turn it over to God?
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because that is probably one of the hardest things as part of the trauma that I've had to endure. That's one of the hardest things as a mom, is to take your hands off of your child and completely surrender them back to God and say, look, I've done all I can do. Now you need to give me the strength to stop messing or stop trying to fix it and let God deal with it.
Baby, when you get them calls over in the night at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, Mama, can you come and pick me up?
Mm.
I said, where are you? Well, just meet me at this store. So you can't tell me where you are. And so when you get them kind of calls and you have an aggressive person, um, somebody cuss you out every day, then there's nothing else for you to do. And so um, we're women. So when we get tired of something, we're done with it, right?
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whether it's a bad marriage, whether it's a child, whether it's who, because I do not feel that God wants me to be in harm's way by anybody. So when you get to that point, when you cuss me out every day or cussing just for whatever reason, then it's time for me to do what I did. So I shut my house down. I moved. And so I told him, I said, you can either go to rehab or you're going to be homeless. He still did not believe me. There's boxes in my house. I'm shutting down my house. Lights, everything going to be cut off. I got a new address. But you still did not believe me. And so grandma got involved, and his dad's mom, and so she would take him in. Little did she know she couldn't walk in my shoes. And so I wrote a book, and the book is called Walking in My Shoes. When you look at somebody else You might like their shoes, but they not your shoes. That's the point that I got to where I said, I'm done.
Mm.
I live with my keys, any type of drugs that would make you high in my purse, under my pillow every night, my door locked. Like I'm like I don't pay bills here.
Wow.
And so those are the kind of things that you be like, okay, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, tragic trauma, yeah, baby, I've been through it. I've
Mhm.
been through
Wow.
it. You go from being, that part, shut it down, people looking at me like I'm crazy, like I just done abandoned
Girls,
this
yes.
child.
Yes.
That ain't what that's not my life. That's
Mm-hmm.
not that's not what I put my mama through.
Right.
So all those kind of things, trouble with the law, all kinds of stuff. So, you're serving prison time now. So, I'm
So
okay. You got three hots and a cot.
yeah,
And
that is true.
you got three hots and a cot. I don't get phone calls. I know where you are. You don't cuss me out anymore. You respect me more. But that's what we got.
Now, is that mostly what your book is about and growing through that part of your life?
No, the book talks about from the beginning of my life, which is I was born um, and my lung collapsed as a baby. Then it talks about introducing myself, um, growing up, my teen years, college, the shift in my life. It has a chapter 5. Chapter 6 is a chapter just full of prayers. Um, Talks about my pregnancy, and some other things, mental illness, um, and then finally. So I went backwards. On this session, it talks about the silent killer of diabetes.
What are some things that you can share with us that helped you? But I know you prayed, but just taking care of you mentally. Like what else did you do? You said the support groups and prayer. Did you do individual counseling? Did you how did you take care of you?
I wasn't.
Okay.
I wasn't. No individual counseling because I'm always got to be on my game. My mom went to nursing home a few months, no, few weeks before my child turned 1 years old. So I've always had, until last September, I always had my mama and I had my son. So
Mhm.
I vowed that, but I made a vow that I would make sure that I took care of them.
Gotcha.
And I've I've done that. And so yeah, I probably need counseling at this point in my life because I'm like, you know, but at the same time, my mechanism is I don't like anything that is emotional or sad.
Mm-hmm.
I've lived with anger around me.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of try to have a calm, peaceful life.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps me. Grant, I can come out and I can help you and I can help you, but that is my thing that I can't deal with because it takes me back. Or if you're going to manipulate me, there's people that
Mm-hmm.
will manipulate you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I set boundaries. I'm gonna get ready to turn 50 in April. I set boundaries that I have to have with people. Because if you don't have boundaries, then they treat you however they want to treat you.
Mm-hmm. And as
And so,
women, we're natural caretakers. So we're always wanting to put everybody else or take care of everybody else but ourselves. And then when we get around to taking care of ourselves, I told somebody the other day, I said, I feel like a car that somebody's getting ready to trade in.
mhm,
Everybody, you don't got used by this person, driven by this person. You've taken care of this, but nobody has really. You haven't taken care of yourself, and you've
right.
allowed by not setting boundaries. You've
Mhm,
allowed people to misuse you, and I had to stop and take a look and say, you got to stop blaming people for doing it because you're allowing it to happen. So I had to take responsibility for that. But as a woman, you want to take care of the people that you love. And the hardest thing for me that I had to come to grip with over the years is you got to take care of you,
Mhm.
you
If
know,
you don't
because
take
you're
care of you,
right.
you know, you'll be you'll be looking like I was looking. I had a friend that says to me,
You're fine.
um, "Don't call me anymore until you start taking care of yourself."
Wow. Wow.
And that was um, with make sure I took all my medicine, making sure I started to lose weight, because you're taking care of other people, but you're not taking care of yourself.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And that's, I've had major weight loss, about 61 pounds.
Oh,
And
congratulations.
That's
right,
awesome.
so that's part of the my diabetes going, in the way that it's going. I know I don't have to do a 3-month checkup. I can do a 6-month checkup now. Praise God.
Praise
Awesome.
God for that. Yes.
Yeah, so
That's
there's different
good.
things. There's things that that you have to do, and a boundary is a necessary, and people don't like it, but at the same time, that's what we have to have.
Of
And
course.
so no child, no body, it will put me back in that box. No, that's not
Amen.
gonna happen. And that, so I'm stronger than I've probably ever been in some ways, and still got growth and room for more. But at the same time, it's been a struggle. It's been real.
Mhm.
And some things that only heals by Him. And so,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's
Absolutely.
yeah, nothing by me, but all by Him. And so, but thank you for having me on your podcast today, and it's been wonderful.
Absolutely.
It's been great.
We
Um,
appreciate you here and sharing
Absolutely.
your story. And I'm a listener and I'm visual. I bring things to life in my mind as people are
Me
talking.
too. Me
It's just
too.
who I am. And it's how God often shows me things. Um, And I will say, just to encourage you, it's beautiful. Boundaries are great. Of course, we have to set boundaries, or like you said, Tanya, people will walk all over you. They'll trade you in a minute. Um, and I actually applaud your friend for telling you we can't communicate until you start taking care of yourself because it's hard to watch a person break and
mhm,
there's nothing you can do about it.
right.
It's hard, especially when you love them so much.
Mhm. And
And
that's
Mhm,
a
so
true
she
friend
didn't,
too.
yeah. So she didn't want to see that. And
right.
it worked. It worked. It helped you to stand up and do what you knew that was necessary in your life. And I was listening to a story this morning because usually when I'm cleaning, I'm listening to different things. And it was what I was listening to is when Jesus was on the cross, said, "Son, behold your mother, and mother, behold your son." In other words, comfort one another because both of you need support. Both of you need help right now. And right now you have one another, comfort one another. So just as much as you pour out, there's also some pouring into you that is always necessary as well.
Right.
One thing about her story is we are connecting with different people who offer support, and we are requesting services for
Okay.
people if they choose, to accept different support and stuff like that. So
Okay.
those opportunities are also available.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're also available. I'm reaching out to people who most people will say, oh, they're not going to give you the time of day. They're not going to give you their services for free, supporting people. But I cast that down because
Mhm,
I'm
Amen.
a firm believer that God will move. And
Yes.
I just trust that He will do exactly what I need Him to do if I ask Him. And I've asked Him for that. So that support is there. And
Yeah.
if you, whatever you need from us here at Her Story, we are willing to stand up for you and be that support. If you got us working for you in the background, we will work in the background. But
Amen.
you are now connected to a system of women who will support you. And, even if it's in those simple moments where you just need to say something, you need to get something off your chest, you need to scream, you need somebody to just hear
Yes.
you. We
Yes.
are here for you. And
Absolutely.
we are willing to go the extra mile to find that support for you for free, because that is the purpose of Her Story, so that you don't have to think about, oh, how am I going to pay? That's not the point. The point
Hmm.
is that we're here to help you heal, and
Yes.
help you in your journey. So we
Thank
appreciate
you.
you
Thank
so
you.
much. You have no idea how much this means,
Absolutely. Thank you
um,
Thank
so
you.
much,
for
Jennifer.
your boldness, yes, and your courage.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
You kind of have some emotional times when you're doing things like this, but at the same time, it's for somebody else as well. And
yes,
so, it's,
yes, yes.
yeah, if I can be of service to anyone at the same time in this process, please contact me. So,
And I just
Absolutely.
wanted to let you know too that your ministry is also through your voice, not only
I
sharing,
heard that.
but your singing.
wow.
Your singing brings out the pain that you've had, but it also comes across as I may have had it, but God was there with me. And
Mm,
that's what I think that's what people feel when they hear your voice when you sing. You sing
wow.
with such power. So I wanted to
Mm,
tell you continue to do that because you don't know how that ministers to people as well.
thank you. Thank you.